Hello everyone, and welcome to my video on how to create a beautiful masterpiece, a beautiful drawing, a beautiful piece of art. Just kidding. As you can see, this video is not going to be anything near a beautiful masterpiece or a work of art. But that's not the point. In this video, I'm going to create a visual illustration of awakening, of the highest state of consciousness when you are here, when you transcend the 3D. And matter of fact, not when someone transcends the 3D, but when you see the ultimate reality, the true reality in the only dimension in which everything other is created that seems to be outside of you. And as you can see here, we have the body right here. And this is what we take ourselves to be inside, most of us. I know for my life, I took myself to be my body. I was very identified with my body, everything about my body. Embarrassingly so. But what we have here is where it all starts. We have raw experience. This is simply what is. There is no judgment. There is no filter. There is only that in which is appearing. Truthfully, if you get down to it, when it says raw experience, there is no names, there are no labels, there are no categories. This is what we call interpretation. This is the mind's filter, and this is what happens after pure raw experience. The mind places things in categories, calling things good or bad, dislike or like. This is the filter of mind. This interpretation now becomes what we call and believe as memory. An experience arose without any type of filter, without any type of clarification or identification to it. Now there is an interpretation with it. This becomes stored as memory, something that we could say, this happened to me and I did not like it. Uh, I I suffered from it. It was hard for me, or I loved it. It was so much fun and it was so joyful. But with that memory comes along emotional conditioning. And what this is here is this is stored energy in the body and also conditioning of how this memory makes us feel or react. It is conditioning itself, but it is also stored in the body. So, to give an example here, a raw experience. Maybe in a situation appeared when you were younger, you were bullied in school. Obviously, many of us in the mind will interpret that as I did not like it. That affected me, or that made me feel stupid. That made me feel ugly. That bothered me or embarrassed me. Now, this is stored as a memory. You can now recall when you were bullied. Now you can recall the feeling that bullying created within you. And now, when it is pulled upon in what we call the past or a memory, it makes us feel this emotional charge in the body. This is all of this is right here. This is what we call ourself. This is what we identify as ourself. Raw experience appearing as is, interpretation in mind's categories, placed in a memory, something we call a past, and it made us feel a certain way. We identified with it, and it brings back feelings within the body. All of this is within the filter of time and space. All of this is happening on a linear timeline with a past and a future. And we are in the middle of it. Now, what tends to occur is the repeated feedback loop, the repeated cycle. And now all raw experience is no longer raw experience. It now has a filter before it because it is a cycle repeating. And now how we view raw experiences is based on previous conditioning. It is based on previous boundaries. It is based on this is the type of person I am. This is who I am. This is what I like and dislike over and over again. And this is truly what we call ourselves. I want that to sink in with you guys for a minute here. This is what we call us. This is what we believe makes us us. In one way or another, this is it. The experiences are different. The body is different. The thoughts are different. This is why you can say that everyone is living in a different reality, because this creates the perceived reality, all occurring within time and space over and over again. This is why two people can walk down the exact same street and see it totally different, because of the conditioning, because of the filters and the interpretation, all tied together to create us. But the main thing that we ignore and that we rarely ever pay attention to or even know exist is this. No, not just a line, this. That's really all you can say, but I'll explain it a little better. All of this and this and this appear here, appear right here. I'm going to call this now. Now, you can give this many different names. You can give all of this many different names, but it points to the exact same thing. You can say consciousness. You can say awareness. You can say eternity. You can even say the present moment. What this is just here and now. It's all that truly is, and it is where everything arises. Many of us never notice this. This is the ground that we are standing on. No, I don't mean the physical ground. I mean this is the true fabric of reality. It is where all creation takes place. If you ever sit in silence, or if you meditate, or whatever it may be, you will start to notice all of this. You will start to see this for what it is. You will start to see it arise. You will start to see it narrate. You will start to see it construct your reality. In meditation and silence also highlights this, the now, the ground in which it all arises. See, this filter in which you in your life is happening, because raw experience now becomes life. Becomes life that you are living. And it has this filter. And this filter was from when you were born to when you'll die, a past based on memories, which are stories and thoughts and ideas, now, images, now, and a future, which is an imagined future, which is more stories and images and thoughts, the interpretation of it. And all of this is always tied into the emotional conditioning. This is extremely strong. That's a great arrow. This is extremely strong. And this is actually what I was suffering. Because the belief of a separate body that was me, identified with it, interpreting everything, the mind's filter, the memory of everything, manifested physical tension in my body, specifically my lower body. This is one of the main reasons I started my YouTube channel, because I was suffering from intense physical pain. And no, it wasn't from the gym or an injury. It was a manifestation of all this tied together with an extreme feedback loop. And guess what dissolved it all, disarmed it all? Awakening. This is an illustration of a spiritual awakening. This is an illustration of a transcending the 3D. This is an illustration of awakening itself. This is an illustration of becoming consciously aware. What you'll come to find out is you can call all of this a million different terms, but it points to the same thing. What I started to notice was this, the now. But I didn't just start to notice it as a someone in the now. Yes, that's what it looked like at first and what it felt like. But what actually I came to see was this now is all that exists, all that's ever exist. And everything you take your life to be is raw experience. But yet it only happens now. Except we take this to be life. The big circle, the big loop, creating us. But when you pay attention to this, when you shine the light of awareness on this, when you become consciously aware, now you are in the highest state of consciousness. When you operate here and the senses guide you, when your life is guided and created by interpretation, the filter of mind, you are operating and resting in the lowest vibrational state possible, the most dense state. A lot of people will say that they are not creative and have no creativity because they are confined in this structure. They are caged in by the 3D, by the lowest state of consciousness. And when you are following and shaped and your life is filtered through this, you are at the mercy of the matrix itself. Many people want to figure out, they want to solve, they want to heal this. Everything that I teach on this channel, and many other teachers do as well, is notice this, the now. Why is that so important? Because it starts to disarm the feedback loop. It starts to disarm the filter. Now you see that time and space are nothing but mere concepts now. Now you see that raw experience is all that is here before interpretation arises. Now you see that memory, what used to seem so solid and so real, is nothing but more thoughts and stories and images now. Now you see the emotional conditioning, the emotional charge stored within the body, and the conditioning no longer has its true power and effect now. And when you look deeper, when you rest and see what truly is, the ground in which it all stands, you even start to see that there isn't somebody standing here. There is only this. All of this is created within this. This is the play. This is the show. This is the movie. The now is the screen in which it all appears. This is awakening because there's nothing more, there's nothing needed, there's nothing to do except rest and surrender to what is. And all of this dissolves. Now, that might sound scary to some of you. That might bring fear to some of you because some of you have been holding on to all of this so tight and but believing this is life. But what this shows is a beauty to this raw experience without the interpretation of seeing that there's no one to interpret it, and there's no one actually to interpret anything. Everything appears here, and even you are created here as well. So guys, I just thought this would be a fun illustration to do. I hope you enjoyed it. Please forgive my dirty hands a little bit too. I just got done working on my vehicle. So anyways, I want to mention that I do have a community called the Core Collective as well. If any of this interests you, this is what we explore in our community. The community is filled with members from across the world, all different time zones, and we explore this and we explore this to see and experience what we truly are, because then you are set free from the chains that have been holding you down. So I share in-depth lessons on there. I share meditations on there and so much more. So if you're interested, that link will be down below. I love you all. Take care. Goodbye, friends.